Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Happy Friday, everybody. Josh and Abby. One more show before you hit the weekend to probably not go boating, considered the weather reports, but I'm sure you'll enjoy your weekend in some capacity. Maybe at Gold Horse Casino, where we had quite the crazy winner this week.
Yeah, I think it's kind of insane just how much she won, and this was the first ginormous jackpot that the casino's had since they opened, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, lots of buzz around that. Of course, we'll have another look at that a little later on in the show. First, let's go out to Eric Bay. He was on location earlier.
Thanks, guys. Well, today we have made our way out here to Clandonald because the Clandonald Country Fair will be taking place here tonight and tomorrow. So throughout the show here, we're going to be taking a look at what you can check out here as well. They're going to have tons of stuff for the entire family as well as an exhibition. So you can check out a whole bunch of different crafts and stuff like that. So we'll be talking about all that and how you can get involved out here. But before that, we are going to head back into the studio where Abby is going to take a look at your local news.
Starting Monday, August 12th to Friday, August 23rd between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., the road on 50th Street from 57th to 59th Ave will be closed for construction. The city and Northern Blacktop will be conducting spot patching and overlay on those roads, which will then be paved with new asphalt. Motorists and pedestrians are asked to follow the marked construction signs. If you have any questions regarding the road closure, contact the city. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win $1 million. And for Lloydminster resident Brenda Lloyd, that dream became a reality when she hit the jackpot. And as our Josh Ryan explains, the win was well deserved.
If I hit $1 million.
What follows after that thought varies drastically from person to person.
I might give it to the poor.
We'll probably go on vacation to take my family on a nice vacation.
I would probably buy more LOL dolls and 3DS games.
However, recent retiree Brenda Lloyd actually gets to make those decisions after the shock wears off from winning nearly $2 million at the Gold Horse Casino.
I think we'll go on a nice family vacation, maybe at Christmas time. I'm not really sure, but that's kind of the plan. And other than that, I just haven't really thought past that. I don't know. I'm speechless.
Lloyd went to play the Smoke Signals jackpot at the last minute on the advice of a friend.
Back out, that chair was empty. I sat down at it, and it was so surreal.
Initially, she didn't believe it.
Well, I couldn't figure out why my machine wouldn't keep playing because I still had credits in there. So I looked to the left and it says you won, and I'm going, no, that doesn't mean me. That must be somebody else. And I'm looking around to see if anybody else is watching, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, we got a winner.
After a hectic few days of many messages and congratulations, friends and family were on hand with SIGA representatives to celebrate the biggest winner in the casino's short history.
Met with a lot of businesses. We've creating partnerships with businesses. We're doing very well at this point.
The win comes after a tough year for the Lloyd family, which saw the passing of her husband David, who was present in their thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not good at talking about that, but yes, it was. I just wished he was here, so.
To be able to help anybody, but as you know, in this case, I heard a couple things. Brenda was talking about the loss, and it's always special, yes.
For now, Lloyd is going to enjoy downtime with her loved ones and think of a good gift for her friend who advised her to try her luck.
I haven't seen her yet, so yeah, I will though. Nice. Yeah.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Once again, we are back out here in Clandonald, where today we're talking about the Clandonald Country Fair, and I'm joined now by Gwen McPhee. And now you guys have a theme for this year's fair. So can you tell us a little bit about that theme here?
Yes, Eric. First of all, thanks for coming out. Our theme for the Clandonald Fair this year is Clandonald, celebrating our successes. And we decided on this because we do partner back and forth with the local fire department, as well as the school and kindergarten, and the 4-H, and Friends of Clandonald as well.
And now can you talk a little bit about the importance of that partnership that does go on here in a small town such as this?
Well, it is a small hamlet. Population isn't too high, but we work back and forth. The school helps us with our town cleanup in the spring, and the fire department usually puts on a segment in our fair. And the 4-H is good. They hold their 4-H show here on the grounds, and they also help us with setup and cleanup of fair and our Hay Clandonald and such.
And you mentioned that Hay Clandonald, that's another big event here. So can you talk about those other big events here that you do have just really quick?
Our Hay Clandonald started, I believe, in 2002. It was one of the drought years, or after the big drought year, and it's held every third Friday of January, starting off with a roast beef dinner and then an agricultural speaker and then entertainment. Very family-oriented evening.
All good. Thank you for that. We are going to have some more back from here once again in Clandonald, but before that, we'll head back into the studio.
Thanks very much, Eric. Things starting to get a little cloudy in the border city, as well as cooling down to 15 degrees, and that's where we sit at the moment. Should continue on to have a slow decline over the next couple of hours. Your records: 35 in 1991 and 3 back in 1985. That must have been a fun August. And your wind, of course, popping back up into the 20s today, a little bit more than was expected, but that again should gradually slow down over the next several hours. Watches and warnings. Clear today. It's not clear for the rest of the weekend if you take a look at the 7-day forecast, but for the moment, no alerts to worry about, so no rain expected in this region. It's 15 in this city, a little bit warmer in Cold Lake and Meadow Lake at 16 degrees, and North Battleford, while also very cloudy, has held strong in the high teens. They're at 18 right now. Isla Cross at 14, 17 in Provost, 16 in Edmonton, while Saskatoon still cloudy, a little warmer at 22 degrees. And your 3-day forecast, again, 18 with a low of 6 tomorrow. There should be a fair amount of sunlight, especially in the afternoon, but Sunday and Monday looking a little uglier. Almost a 70% chance of precipitation on Sunday with a high of 17 and a low of 7. Things do start to gradually warm up after that, 18 and 10 on Monday, but still heavy cloud cover. Outside chances of some rain clouds developing. The wind, fortunately, will calm down quite a bit from our current gusts of 20 kilometers or more, expecting around 9 or 10 kilometers for the next 3 days.
The farming life isn't regularly thought of as a safe one. Heavy machinery and work schedules that revolve around the weather can be a place full of unintended hazards. As our Tegan Gieselbrecht reports, the safety regulations introduced to Alberta farmers in Bill 6 was a difficult one for some, but the new government is trying to amend that.
Farmers gathered at the Vermilion Agricultural Society this morning to discuss Bill 6 with the Agricultural Ministry.
We're doing our Bill 6 consultation process that's going across the province. So I think this is the 14th meeting that they've had. And our plan is to introduce and repeal Bill 6 this fall and then replace it with the Farm Safety Act.
Today's consultation focused on how many farms across the province struggled to meet the current safety regulations imposed by Bill 6. A bill that was passed without talking to those it affects.
Back in 2015, when the NDP brought in Bill 6, there was zero consultation done with farmers. So that's the rationale of us, repealing and replacing that legislation, but to actually do it right, to make sure that we're actually talking with farmers and consulting with them first. It affects farmers, and all farms are different, whether they're livestock or cattle or just different sizes, whether they're a greenhouse or a mushroom farm. It all depends on their own unique circumstances, and so trying to find a workplace safety legislation that can fit all of them, that is you have to actually talk to farmers to realize what could actually work on their farm.
Some local farmers believe that today's gathering was a success.
I thought it went really well. I was really impressed with the minister, with our MLA Garth Roswell. I think they're here to listen, and I think they got the message. We're all concerned about safety. Have some basic rules. Let farmers keep producing the greatest food in the world, and in a relatively, a very, very safe manner.
And others feel differently.
There's a lot more open discussion about what we can do and what needs to be done. I would say there's not all in agreement in the room about what needs to be done either. I think the government's got a big challenge in front of them to figure out exactly how please everybody.
Consultations will be done at the end of August. The government is aiming to introduce and pass the new piece of legislation this year. Tegan Gieselbrecht, Primetime Local News.
And now we're going to take a look at your stock market prices for today.
We restore more than just property. We restore hope. When disaster strikes, call the one that can make it right. First General Services, your property restoration experts.
Welcome back. Well, it takes years of practice and training for bull riders to make it to the highest ranks of the PBR, and the same goes for the bulls they ride. Eric Bay has more on how these bulls are developed.
The most important athletes on the PBR Tour, the bulls, begin their training slowly, taking time to grow before they begin to buck for the first few times.
So as weanlings, they just grow up, get big and strong, and then from yearlings we start bucking them. They'll get 4 or 5 trips with a dummy as yearlings, and then a couple more as 2-year-olds in the summer, and then in the winter, their 2 will take them to Lakeland College and get their first riders on them. And then by 3, they're pretty well ready to get on the truck.
Starting the bulls off with the dummy allows them plenty of opportunities to learn, as practice is key to create a good bucking bull.
Feed and exercise is a big part of it. Just like any athlete, the more trips we can get on them, the better for them. They get it drilled in their head. It's more of an instinct for them that way.
The stock contractors hope this training leads to a bull that is best at putting cowboys in the dirt before 8 seconds.
What we're looking for is bulls that basically jump the highest, kick the hardest, spin, speed. You know, if they're a little quicker than the rest and they have a little more intensity, those are some of the things we're looking for sure.
Even with all that work, it still takes some talent to reach the top of the stock pen, and it brings a smile to the face of contractors when they see their bulls show the traits needed to become the next bushwhacker or bodacious.
Yeah, it's cool when you can go somewhere and have the best bull there.
It makes me smile when I see that happen.
Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
And now we're going to take a look at your egg prices.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Center Auto Body.
Many professional sports have development leagues, and wrestling is no different. Monster Pro Wrestling is a league where you'll see the up-and-coming stars of tomorrow hit the ring. And on Thursday, they brought the show to Lloydminster. Josh Park was there to check out the action and how this small league is growing into a business of its own.
Pro wrestling, it's an acquired taste, but those involved in the community are passionate about it. Is it a sport? Is it a show? Or maybe both? Well, one thing's for sure, it's entertainment. Thursday night, that entertainment came to the Border City in the form of the Monster Pro Wrestling League, an up-and-coming wrestling business that started in Edmonton and what they believe to be is on the rise.
I do think that we definitely are growing day by day. As I said before, we're getting more touring done, we're getting more wrestlers, more mini camps are being done, and more people are coming from that. And yeah, I honestly think the sky's the limit. I think we could just keep growing and growing.
A wrestling show just like the ones put on by MPW they come with a lot of energy. Aside from the big takedowns you're used to seeing, MPW wrestlers also like to have a little fun with the crowd.
It's gonna get you some good ratings. Do you ever yell at the wrestlers?
Yes.
What do you like to yell at them?
Like boo and stuff like that.
These matches aren't restricted to just wrestling either. Sometimes props of all kind can become part of the show. Anyone looking for a table for 3? This isn't the first time the MPW has come to Lloydminster. The league has been to the border city before and hopes eventually to hit a national level.
Hopefully at some point, you know, a lot of eyes on us, hopefully tours across Canada, whatever we're able to do. I think we're very capable of being able to do that.
The Monster Pro Wrestling League is planning on hitting the road later in September to bring pro wrestling to Lloydminster once again. Flying bodies, championship matches.
I'm the champion. This gold means I can do whatever I want.
This grassroots league has it all. Josh Park, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who was on location today.
Once again, we are back here in Clandonald, and we are talking about the Clandonald Country Fair here going on tomorrow as well as tonight. And I'm joined now by Suzanne Martin. So can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do have going on here for the fair?
For the fair tomorrow, we have a full day of activities starting at 8 o'clock with our pancake breakfast. We have musical entertainment, as well as our parade starts at 11:30. It's free admission, and it's a fun family event. We have concession booths, so mainly all you pay for is what you eat. We have all sorts of activities: laser tag, mutton busting, bingo, and we have an illusionist, Jesse Lewis, on stage at 3.
All right, sounds like a ton of fun for sure. Hopefully that weather does hold out. And now this isn't the only large event you guys do have, as you did just have your first ever Hockey Night in Clandonald. So can you talk about that and kind of the reason for starting that up here?
We held that in February. It was the first time. It was a 24-hour hockey game, and it was a great success. A lot of people from the community and surrounding communities had brought in teams to play for 24 hours, and the money raised went to Hayne in the 30s, and we raised $6,000 that went to this great group.
And now, can you just maybe explain a little bit about that Hayne in the 30s group here for people who may not know?
Hayne in the 30s, it's they support cancer patients that need assistance for travel, etc. So, and it's all the money raised goes to people that need assistance.
All right, and now can you just really quick talk about the importance of holding these events here in the community and bringing the community out for some great causes like that?
It's great to get everybody together, and we're very fortunate to have a great group of volunteers as well as community members and groups that help us with many of our events that we host.
All right, thank you so much for this. We are going to have some more from back here in Clandonald as we do talk about their Clandonald Country Fair going on here this weekend. But before that, we are going to head back into the studio.
Your next 24 hours are looking a little cooler than they should for August, but we haven't seen anything that should be considered too dangerous if you're afraid of winter coming early. A low of 6 is indeed very cool, but we'll be right back up into the mid-teens by about 1 p.m. and we'll get into the high teens again later on in the evening. Plus, we are expecting a little more sunlight tomorrow afternoon than we experienced today. Wind chill will still be a factor in how the temperature feels out there, so it'll feel about 2 or 3 degrees cooler than it actually is on paper. Still, though, a little bit warmer than what we experienced today, where we had much stronger winds in the 20 to 25 gust range. Current temperature is 16 in Marwayne, Vermilion, 14 in St. Paul, 17 rather in Bonnyville, 16 also out in Edmonton. Everyone's starting to drop a little bit over the past hour. 17 in Green Lake, 16 in both Meadow Lake and St. Walburg, and Maidstone also sitting at 17 degrees. Further south again, Provost at 17, Macklin holding strong at 18, as is North Battleford, which has experienced again a fair amount of cloud cover, and they also have some strong winds coming out of the northwest. That will calm down over the evening, and things will start to clear off for a low of 7. Then 19 is the expected high for tomorrow afternoon. The wind still coming out of the northwest, but only around 10 to 12 kilometers per hour. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to seeing a little extra sun. That's also the case in Cold Lake, where they're cloudy right now, but expecting to be very sunny tomorrow with a high of 18. The wind as well will calm down, though it's certainly not as stringent at the moment, down to about 7 kilometers overnight, and that should be the average through the next 24 hours. After that, again, a low of 6 in that region. Same for Lloydminster, where we're still at 15 degrees right now. And once again, those winds calming down to around 10 to 11 kilometers, getting into single digits for most of tomorrow afternoon. A high of 18, some clouds still there, but definitely more sunlight expected, and good news for anyone who is hoping to enjoy the great outdoors. Again, 17 and 7 on Sunday. As we said before, almost a 70% chance of precipitation that we could see some moisture hit the ground on Sunday. And then there's an outside chance of that continuing on through Monday, Tuesday, but fortunately just an outside chance, though things will be very cloudy indeed. Same temperatures both of those days, 18 and a low of 10, then 19 and 10 on Wednesday, where there's another outside chance of some rain. Then Thursday we'll have a high of 20, Friday a high of 21. So hopefully by next weekend, where there are a few weddings planned, things will get a little bit warmer. That has been your 7-day forecast. We'll have more after the break.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Once again, we are back here in Clandonald, and we are talking about the Clandonald Country Fair kicking off here tonight and going on into tomorrow. And Cindy Lychuk joins me now with some of your creations here in the exhibition. So can you talk a little bit about what you have made here?
Okay, the first thing I've got is the elevator wood candle holder. The little elevators are actually made out of pieces of an original elevator, so it's got history and a little bit of wheat on it to finish it off. The glass tower is just recycling. I love repurposing stuff, making stuff look new again, and very, very inexpensive. And then Rudolph here is one of my new additions to my family. I've got a sea can in my front yard, and I decided this was the best way to decorate it for Christmas. So Rudolph has all of his friends, plus Santa and the sleigh, and there's a little photograph down there that shows the whole display when it's all set up.
Super cool for sure. Now, you did mention this here is repurposed as well as solar powered. So can you talk maybe about some of the pieces that you did use to actually create this piece here?
Okay, the bottom piece is actually a bedroom lamp shade light fixture. The next one is just a glass. The next one is a candle holder, then a little plate, then the 2 goblets, and top it off with a solar panel on top.
Very cool. And now you are also talking off camera here that you do have some pictures of past fairs that will be here as well. So can you tell us a little bit about what you have going on there?
Okay, I've made up a window frame covered with chicken wire so that I can mount all of the pictures from last year's parade. And if anybody's in any of the pictures, they're welcome to take the picture with them. And it's just a way of saying thank you for supporting our fair and coming out and enjoying our little community get-together.
All right, well, thank you for doing this interview with us. We appreciate it. We are going to have some more back from here talking about the Clandonald Country Fair. But before that, we are going to head back into the studio.
So our question of the day comes from a unique story where an Alaskan man found a 50-year-old bottle with a message in it. There was a Soviet message. Not every day you find something like that, so our question of the day, of course, is if you had to write a message in a bottle, what would you write? And Diane Sontag wrote in and said, something I think more people should probably say, be kind. I think that's a pretty general thing you can say to most people.
Yeah, I think, you get that message, you don't know where it came from, you don't know who said it, but it just, it's nice. It's very nice, something like that to hear. It's sweet, it's small, it's, it gets to the point, but it goes a long way.
Absolutely. Not maybe as exciting as a love message, but if you're not the intended of the message, then it doesn't really have any meaning for you.
Yeah, exactly. But if you read it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cute and so special. And so whether it was for you or not, it's still very nice to see or to discover.
Okay. who knows, maybe it has movie potential in it. What should have movie potential is some of the pets we get featured on this week, and we do have our winner coming up. So let's get right into Pet of the Day. That is a winning name right there, Artemis.
Very, very unique and adorable cat.
Indeed. I think that's Joe in the corner of the picture as well. Next up here, we have Fluffy.
Very, very cute.
And next here again, we have Zelda, who probably ate too much.
Yeah, and just fell asleep right there. Be like, I'll wake up, finish, and then go back to sleep.
Mystique is next.
Very adorable.
Has some mystique in those eyes. And let's end it with Nini.
Very, very cute. Just a sweet photo.
Boy and his dog right there. Remember, send in both the picture and the pet if you want a chance at winning the free gift card, which we will announce later today.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Welcome back. It's festival season, and we're going to be talking about the Lloyd Fest, and we've got founder Susan Cambridge right here with us, talking with us. Susan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Judy.
So
I was
much
looking
to discuss.
forward to this.
You were? Me too, actually. I'm glad. You know, last time I saw you were at the Canadian Canada Day Festival.
That's
there was
right.
so many different cultures and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about Lloyd Fest. Obviously, it's a baby of yours. You've been working hard for this. Tell us a little bit about what Lloyd Fest is all about.
Okay, so Lloyd Fest, if you were at Canada Day and that multicultural show there, Lloyd Fest is a more liberated version of that. And I say liberated because then you get all the multicultural groups coming together in an open space outside at the picnic shelter, as well as we want to have a street parade where people can actually vibes off of their own music, their own tune. So it's outside, it's bigger, it involves a whole lot more. And like I said, it's a more liberated feeling.
It's huge, and I think you've been working on this for quite some time now, and it hasn't been an easy thing to do. But I love the fact that you said you're going to have parades, you're going to have a lot of different things. What's different about this one as opposed to last time you guys had a smaller version, right?
Well, the smaller version really ties itself back to the one that is held in the gym every year, right? Where, you know, you can come and enjoy some cultural performances and so on, and you can sample some of the food, right? And this time we're having people outdoor on a bigger scale selling more of a variety, and they're actually selling food. And then you can have it's all about a bigger space. It's all about more groups joining together. And like I said, you can have fun. It's going to be interactive, and it just get people to experience a little entrepreneurial skills as well, because in the gym you can't sell anything, right? But now you can sell, you can you know, showcase your entrepreneurial skills, your craft and everything as it comes with being diverse.
Oh, totally. And there's so much we can talk about, but I just want to mention passport thing that you're going to be doing, as well as donations, and we can wrap that up. I think we're kind of...
Right, absolutely. Okay, so the boarding pass, when you come to the event, you can look forward to getting a boarding pass. What this boarding pass will do is that it's like a keepsake, okay? It's very well decorated and so on, and that boarding pass will allow you to be entered in a draw for an entrance prize. Okay,
awesome,
and
awesome.
It also has a little bit of information as to how many came with you, if you're from Lloyd, if you're from out of town or something like that.
Awesome. And let's talk about donations. I know that you worked hard on your own in terms of with a few people.
Yes.
Lots of people want to probably jump on from the different communities and stuff like that. But let's talk about donations, funding. How are you working that out, and have you gotten any from both sides of Alberta and Saskatchewan?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I've gotten international funding. Locally and abroad. Okay, awesome. That includes Grenada, Trinidad, from Toronto, and of course, huge thank you to the sponsors here in Lloydminster. It's absolutely been wonderful. I mean, couldn't do it without the sponsors. But of course, you know, there are things that have to be paid for, right? Lots of them are contra, but things have to be paid for. So we are still accepting donations. Our account is with Synergy. You just go in, International Festivals, Lloydminster Society account, and absolutely, please feel free to donate to that account and towards Lloyd Fest.
And we're excited about the event because Stingray is also a sponsor.
Absolutely.
This is happening when? August what?
August 24th and 25th at the picnic shelter, Bud Miller Park. The opening ceremony starts at 11:30. The parade starts at 12 noon from the College Park, and it's going to be a nice little route. It will eventually take you through the Lakeland College, through the back, through Bud Miller Park and into the picnic shelter. So that's going to be tons of fun.
Beautiful. Lots of cultures, I think, to come from
Absolutely.
Lloyd. And we're going to get to see you as well, too, and everybody else. Can't wait to be there. Glad to be a
Absolutely.
sponsor as well, too. And Susan, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And hey, everyone, come dress in your cultural attire. Even if you're not performing or you're not part of the street parade, come dress in your cultural look. And so it's going to be beautiful.
It's beautiful. Again, August 23rd and 24th.
24th and 25th.
24th and 25th.
Yes, it's 2 days. That's okay. It's
There
all
we
good.
go. There we go. We don't
It's
want to
all
miss
good.
that up. You can start on the 23rd. It's okay. But 23rd, 24th, and 25th,
We
right?
can come and help on the
We can
23rd. That'd be nice.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here with
you
us.
so much. Thank you.
Hey, it's Justin Marshall from Cool 101.3 in Bonnyville and Boom 95.3 in Cold Lake. And here's what's happening around the Lakeland. Well, today we're in beautiful Glendon, Alberta. We're coming up on Saturday. It's the 30th anniversary of the Glendon Demolition Derby and Mud Bog, and of course the Glendon Ag Society putting this on. Stacey Sandmeyer joins me now. She is the president. And how have you kept this going for 30 years? That's impressive.
Yes, 30 years is an amazing amount of time, but we have great volunteers that help us out. We have drivers that want to be here, that have a lot of fun putting on a great show, and people want to come and watch it, so we keep putting it on.
Why do you think people love coming out to watch the Demolition Derby and the Mud Bogs?
It's a great family event. We have a lot of things that children can do here. We have a play world. We have also great food vendors. We have the of course the libation and the activity, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of loud noise, and people just love it.
What can people expect on Saturday?
We have a great day in Glendon, starting with the pancake breakfast in the morning at 8:30. Farmers market we have going on. We also have a parade in town starting at 10:30. The firemen put on a barbecue if you're interested, or you can come out at the grounds open at 11. We have great food vendors, and we just have everything starting. And you'll want to be here. You'll want to probably come and bid on your favorite driver, try to win some money if he wins or she wins, and it's just a full day of fun.
$20 to get in for adults. Get more details at boom953.ca. Stacey, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Justin. We really appreciate your sponsorship.
And if you have an event you would like to feature on What's Happening, shoot me an email, jmarshall@stingray.com.
Welcome back to Primetime Local News, and Greg Buchanan in studio because we only have 1 week left of CPCA racing before the CPCA finals are in town at the Lloyd X here in Lloydminster. A lot riding for many drivers on this particular stop in Turtleford.
Yeah, 3 days of racing, or 3 days of points more than anything, and then you have 4 days of points into the 5 days at the CPCA finals here in Lloydminster. So you have 7 point nights left. So a lot has to happen for some drivers to move up. At the same time, if you're in the top 4, you're racing for a Canadian Championship on that final day. So you want to stay in that top 4. You want to be fast, but more than anything, you want to be clean. You want to make sure you don't have any penalties. You want to make sure when you leave the infield, all those barrels are up, because a 5 second right now, it would be devastating for anybody that's looking to stay in that top 4, anybody looking to move in that top 4.
Especially after this last weekend in Frog Lake. We were talking off camera about BJ Carey, who won the show, but with his non-point wagon, and he's now in a tough spot because of his penalties he's taken otherwise.
Yeah, you know what? He had a couple of bobbles, I guess, as they say in the sport, with his point wagon that kind of, he was knocking on that door for the top 4. Now he has a bit of an uphill climb. If you look who's in that top 4 right now, Todd Baptiste is on top, Ray Mitzwing's in second, Chris Molly's in third, and Dale Mitzwing's in fourth. And Todd and Ray began a pretty good battle for top spot right now. Todd's up by just 40 plus points on Ray. So right now that 65-year-old, only in number, has a shot at another Canadian Championship. And guys on the outside right now in that top 4 includes BJ Carey, includes Chance Bensmiller, includes a really surging Jamie Labicane. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And Brad McMahon, who was second in the driver standings, unfortunately did not have that Sunday he wanted in Frog Lake, and he dropped out of that top 4, and he's now trying to climb back into that top 4.
And that could make for a really exciting finish. I mean, last year it came down to the last day. You had 6, almost 7 guys who had a shot at it going into the weekend. And this year you could have as many as 9 guys with an outside shot of making it, depending on how they do here in Turtleford.
Yeah, depending. I think these 3 days in Turtleford is going to set up the CPCA finals. If you have a great 3 days in Turtleford, it's a shorter track, so won and lost a lot in the barrels there. If you don't have a good barrel turn, if you don't come out of the infield with the lead, there is not a lot of real estate to make up ground from that 3rd and 4th turn. So it is a very fast barreling track in Turtleford. So it's kind of a different outfit than you'll need in Lloyd, which is a longer track and a bigger infield.
And of course, some of the younger drivers have typically had good runs at the CPCA finals, not necessarily great runs in Turtleford. So a guy like Danny Ringette, for example, is going to have to barrel much better than normal.
Yeah, I think more than anything, Danny's going to have to barrel a lot better. DJ King is another guy that's kind of the outside right now that's had a terrific season. And you look for DJ King to have a great Turtleford. The guy that really usually has a very good Turtleford is Chris Smalley. Chris Smalley has the outfit that he needs to barrel very well. A guy that also barrels very well and gets onto that track in a hurry is Todd Baptiste. So look for Chris, look for Todd, and that guy that's going to be wrapping up his career next week in Lloyd, Ray Mitswing, look for him for a big Turtleford as well.
How cool would it be to see father and son against each other on Sunday at Lloydminster?
I think that's a great story, and I think, you know, who won't be cheering at the Lloyd finals if Ray Mitswing, in his final trip on the track after 30-plus years of racing, has a shot to win a Canadian championship and championship number 8. So it would be a great story to see the Chief maybe go out as a champ yet again.
And again, before we get to that shot at a championship for Ray Mitswing, there are still several drivers who will have something to say about their final 4 spots. That'll all be decided in Turtleford this weekend before we head back for the CPCA finals.